What is going on YouTube? I am Lamont at large. Today we are in Wheeling, West Virginia, and I'm going to talk about the story of a woman who used to do videos here on YouTube. Her name was Jennifer Gwen Armstrong. She went by Life with Jen on YouTube. We're going to talk about a very uncomfortable subject about her and her life and whether or not she was actually fed to death. Let's get right into it. Okay, YouTube, I am not gonna lie. I don't know where to begin with this video. If you want to go on YouTube and you go put in Life with Jen, then this YouTube channel is gonna come up. It's called Jennifer Gwen Armstrong. Her channel used to be called Life with Jen before. And basically what you're gonna have is you're gonna have a channel with a very obese woman talking about her struggles with mental illness. You're gonna see other videos on there. You're gonna see grocery hauls, trying to cook healthy. You're gonna see some videos with her boyfriend. I guess you can call him her feeder, a man by the name of Vernon Eugene Steffens. And they basically just had this YouTube channel where they just showed this obese woman talking about the struggles in life of being in her shoes. And let me say this, you got these YouTube channels. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to name any names, but we all know who I'm referring to. You got these YouTube channels of these very obese women, and they're on YouTube eating themselves to death. It's almost like how when you're driving down the freeway and then you get into a traffic jam and you're like, man, what's going on? And then when you get up to the cause of the traffic jam, you just can't help but stare and look. I mean, when I think about the videos I've seen of these people on YouTube just killing themselves in a sense with all this food, I mean, it's very, very disturbing. And then you have this thing on social media of, you have these fans of these women, mostly, I guess possibly some men out there too, and they call themselves feeders. And what they do is exactly like the name describes. They feed these people and they seem to get some kind of a thrill. I don't know if it's a sexual thrill or some kind of weird kink. I don't know. So you had this guy, Vernon, who hooks up, you know, with Jennifer online. And, well, he did the cooking, obviously. I think previous Jennifer's mother took care of her until she passed away a few years ago. And let me say this about this whole thing with this obese acceptance thing. You know, a lot of times things kind of start innocently enough. You know, you have women that are, you know, got a little bit of meat on their bones, you know, and that's just their frame. For instance, Queen Latifah, I mean, she's not a skinny woman. She's just always been, I don't even want to call her plus size. She's just been thicker, or whatever you want to call it. And then it started with that, right? And then now, all of a sudden, this whole, like, fat acceptance has came aboard. And then you have, like, the figurehead spearheading this movement. I'm gonna guess it's Lizzo. I don't know none of Lizzo's music. I've barely seen 2 pictures of her. She's a large woman that wears skimpy outfits. Listen, you do whatever you want to do in life. If that's what you want to rock, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do what you want to do. The only problem I have with this whole acceptance, I guess people call it fat acceptance, is that behind the movement of telling primarily women, but men too, but primarily women, that it's okay to be large, it's okay to be comfortable in the skin you're in. But what I'm saying is it's not comfortable to have health problems. It's not comfortable to suffer from heart disease, organ failure. I mean, it's really not. And again, I'm not naming any names, but you start seeing these people on YouTube, and then you start seeing them on cable TV channels. Look, there's only two people that watch this kind of content. People that want to see that proverbial car accident, that just they want to watch an accident. They just want to watch somebody slowly eat themselves to death. And then you have the extreme minority who maybe they're rooting for them to like get past their mental issues, their mental struggles. And Jennifer had maybe about almost 30,000 subscribers at the time. And she had a lot of trolls. She had a lot of people that was, in a sense, rooting for her downfall. I mean, she's had online forums, people talking down about her, talking down about her boyfriend, which, me personally, I don't have much of an opinion on that. But I do want to say this. When I see very obese people, and let me say, before I say that, I've had a weight issue all my life myself. You know what I mean? My weight comes up, my weight comes down, primarily because of alcohol. I know what it is, and I know what I have to do to take control over it because I am getting older. I'll be 44 next year, and, you know, it's not good to be an overweight 44-year-old male. And when I see these people on YouTube just eating and eating and eating themselves to death, and then you got some people who are like subscribers and they're fans, and they for some odd reason, they get off on this. I am shocked beyond belief that this is a thing. I mean, you have some YouTubers that have millions of subscribers, and all they do is destroy themselves. But like I said, people, you know, we're a very odd species. And many of us love a freak show. And I know some of you are not going to like that I said that. But that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what people put out there on the social media platform, whatever they choose. And it's not just overweight people. You have people who are disabled. You have people with a lot of tattoos all over their faces. I mean, it's literally the P.T. Barnum and Bailey of the 2020s. It's your own little private freak show, and you put it up on your YouTube channel, and that's why people stop by. They stop by to gawk. They stop by to stare. Humankind has been doing this for many, many hundreds of years. The only difference between us and the freak shows of the 1880s is that now there's really no traveling freak shows because we have the internet. So we don't need to travel to see one. We just turn on our laptops, our computers, our smartphones, our, you know, tablets. And within a mere matter of just, but nothing but a few seconds, we have literally hundreds of channels of these people putting their lives on display without any shame. And I do believe that sometimes, you know, when the people do that, it is a form of therapy for themselves, because maybe they don't have a lot of friends. Maybe they're so big they can't really leave the house very much. So they put themselves on YouTube and, you know, they get a little bit of support, and maybe they also make a little bit of money. That's the building where Jennifer used to live. That's where she used to film all of her YouTube videos, all of her videos detailing her struggles with depression and all of that. And when her and her boyfriend would do these grocery hauls, more than likely they shopped right across the street. I don't know if either of them had a car, but this is where they would stay. And it's kind of a strange coincidence because, you know, when I first started traveling around the country in my van, when I first came to Wheeling, there was no Walmart here. So I actually, back in like 2015, I actually slept in this parking lot for about 2 days. So it's just funny to see this Kroger once again, because that Kroger is like really, really old and small. And on around September 10th, maybe a day or so before that of this year, 2022, 911 received a call from the 4th floor here in this building that Jennifer was having a medical episode. This is the hospital where Jennifer was brought to after suffering her medical episode, whether it be a heart attack or a stroke. I'm not too sure, but she would have been taken right through these emergency doors right here. And this is the hospital where Jennifer died. Now, I don't know if they did an autopsy. It's up to the county coroner to determine whether they do an autopsy. He could have seen her condition that she was in and just said that there was probably no need for an autopsy. That I do not know. I did not find any information about that. But nevertheless, this is where her life was sadly ended. This is going to be the final stop of our video. This is the Stone Church Cemetery. We're just basically a little bit east of where Jennifer died, at that hospital. So online it shows that her mother is buried in this cemetery. However, I don't know the section, and this cemetery, I don't see an office anywhere. And also, it shows that her grave is unmarked. Now, also, I don't know if Jennifer was buried here. I do know that her funeral arrangements were handled by a funeral home, I believe, in Moundsville. I want to say it's a little bit south of Wheeling. But if she were perhaps buried here, she would have been, you know, buried with her mother somewhere in this cemetery. I want to end the video by saying this. I'm not necessarily saying that her boyfriend had a lot of culpability in her death. We're all adults. We all make choices. We all make mistakes. And he did contribute, you know, whether it be minute or whether it be in large part, you use whichever one you want to use. But he did have a place in her life. And again, she made her own life. And, you know, him cooking for her, him, you know, just using whatever ingredients they use in their food that contributed to her a very unhealthy lifestyle of eating, did partly, you know, have a contributing factor in her death. But also, let me say this. Behind the face, behind the obesity, behind all the troll comments out there on social media, lived a very tortured woman with a very severe mental illness. And I don't know exactly what the extent of her mental illness was, but you gotta really believe, guys. You might want to call her this, you might want to call her that, you might want to call the other people on YouTube who eat themselves to death, whatever names you want to call them. Behind that body, behind that image, behind that social media page is a tortured soul, in my personal opinion. Nobody wakes up one day and says they want to weigh 500 pounds. That's not how life works. Anyways, rest in peace to Jennifer Gwen Armstrong. And, you know, anybody out there watching, when you watch these channels and you watch these people destroy themselves, you might think your heart is in a good place of wanting to root for them, but I suspect many, if not most of you guys, are on that freeway in that traffic jam, and you're getting up to the scene of that accident, and we all just want to see chaos. We want to see just bad things happen to good people, and that's really unfortunate how part of the human psyche is, that we just like to see people in bad straits. But maybe I'm explaining it wrong. I have no idea. Anyways, guys, I'll catch up with you on the next vlog. Have a good one. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'll catch up with you all later. Have a good one.